My name is Jamie and I am the channel host. This YouTube video is dedicated to giving advice to my younger self. And today we are going to talk about forgiveness. Woohoo! So today I was thinking about a certain person and kind of our relationship and all the different hurts that we've had. And I just couldn't get them out of my mind. And it was crazy because, I've spent such a long time forgiving them and talking about forgiveness and praying for them and praying for myself. And I'm like, man, why is this person still coming up? And, a lot of people might tell you, okay, yeah, you need to forgive that person. But then I realized, God asked me, God was like, well, have you received their forgiveness? Do you feel like you're forgiven? And I was like, oh, no, I don't. And so as much as it's important to forgive other people, I realized that I also needed to forgive myself and receive their forgiveness. Even if they haven't apologized or said that they've forgiven you, just trusting that, whenever we do sin or we wrong somebody, I feel like it's always against God. And because God has already forgiven us by having his son die on the cross for our sins, because he's the ultimate judge and he's already forgiven us, all other wrongdoings and judgments against other people are below that. And so if he's forgiven us, that means that we've also been forgiven by the person we may have wronged. And that's not to say you don't need to apologize, but this is me saying, I've already apologized. We've already done our best to kind of reconcile the relationship. And it got to a point where, today I just realized man, I don't want to be thinking about this relationship anymore. And it made me realize, oh, yeah, I just need to receive their forgiveness and accept the fact that I've also been forgiven. And immediately right after I accepted forgiveness for myself, there was just kind of this weight lifted off of me. And I no longer felt judged, because in my mind, whenever that person came up, I would always think oh, if I did something good, or if I won something or just something good happened to my life, I would think, oh, they're not happy for me because they probably think I'm a horrible person. And so in that way, I just felt really judged and condemned by them, or at least by that memory of them. And then it's right after I realized oh, they've forgiven me and the slate is clean. I'm oh, they don't think of me as a bad person, or maybe actually they're really happy that I'm at a really good place right now. And so, and even if you don't know, right? If they've forgiven you, just thinking the best of them, and then also receiving the forgiveness that Jesus has, knowing that, you've already apologized, you've repented, and you've done all the necessary steps towards reconciliation. Just know that that's it. You don't have to keep beating yourself up for something that you did a really long time ago, because oftentimes it's really that guilt that will keep you from being free. It's the guilt of, oh man, I did this to hurt this other person, and now I'm a horrible person and I'll never be forgiven. Because if you keep thinking that, you're never going to move on from those experiences, and it's always going to come back and haunt you. And it's kind of digging at an old wound. It's already healed, but just going back to it and letting those memories play again and again in your head is only going to detract you from the present, and it's only going to detract you from moving on and really seeing yourself as completely healed, completely clean, the slate is wiped clean. And And so I just wanted to encourage all of you who are watching to know sometimes, the last step in reconciliation in a relationship is giving yourself grace, giving yourself letting yourself receive forgiveness, because we're all human and we make mistakes. God knows it. But it's not like I feel like for most people, it's not like we do it intentionally. I think it's just things that like during our upbringing, we like react, or sometimes we just say things at a very inopportune time to other people and it might hurt them, or you might be doing something that you're not even sure you're hurting the other person because it's not being communicated to you. So whatever the reason is for your guilt, just know that like you're not meant to stay guilty. Like I feel like if anything, like give yourself the opportunity and the freedom to just say like, I'm turning over a new leaf and I can finally move on. And I think that's all I have for you today. So God bless you guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Know you're forgiven by Jesus. Know you're loved, and go and just be free. Love you. Bye.